Song's still going on. Oh God, man. It's still the same kid song. The song's 20 minutes long. Yeah. Is that right? Is that what stage is? Congratulations on using it, by the way. I meant to text you, but I forgot.
It's only going to stay.
Yeah. Never do. Good advice. Stay in one place, wherever you are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard the music stop. You know what that means. This is the beginning. The ball is dropped. It is officially Wayward Wednesday. Welcome. Thank you very much. We are actually live streaming right now on YouTube. Hello, world. My name's Nick. I'll be your host tonight. And so, real quick before we get started, I just wanted to be serious for a second here. These comedians that I'll be dragging in front of you are cold, hungry, and sober. So if you could please consider sponsoring a wayward comedian, it would really make a huge difference to these poor souls. For only $39.99 and an ounce of weed a month, you can help these guys get their kindergarten GED, feed them 3 square cigarettes a month, and keep them up to date with their parole officer. So please consider donating to the Wayward cause. All right, that's it. That's all I've got to say. The first person to start us off is a very funny lady Esther Coker. Come on now. Give it up for Esther, everybody.
Relocated here from India, and she asked me where I was from, and I said, I'm from New Mexico. She says, oh, so you speak Spanish? I was like, no, I speak American. Is this America? If I tell you I'm not drinking tonight, that really means I just slammed 2 beers before I got here. A friend of mine told me I was the whitest person she'd ever met, and I was like, nah, really? And then as soon as I said that, we both looked down, and I had snowflakes all over my shirt. I'm so white that my bucket list this year includes the Telluride Bluegrass Festival. I am an expert elbow flapper. A friend kindly told me that I look like a teacher who fucks her students. I've never had a tattoo, but I'm thinking about getting a tattoo for the sole purpose of being able to identify my body better in a murder. You know, I think I watched too many true crime documentaries, but as I'm getting older, I acquire more and more enemies, and I just want to make it easier for police, right? Is that a sublime tattoo? That narrows it down. Alright. I noticed that more women watch true crime than men. And I think women are fascinated by these shows because we just don't understand how anybody can kill somebody, you know? And I think a lot of that stems from the fact that a guy can kill a woman with his bare hands. Like a woman, like we can't even kill a cockroach without consulting a gaggle of girls. You know, it's really hard for us. Killing is way too extreme. That's crazy. Like, just stop them. Just scratch their car, privately message them, harass them, tarnish their reputation in every way. Don't murder them. That's so crazy. Oh, God. One of my favorite true crime stories was a mother-in-law who evaded police for decades because she dressed as a man while she killed her daughter-in-law. It's fucking brilliant. For decades, the police were looking for a 5'8" male. I think she should just get away with this based on sexism alone. Kudos to her. I'm so white that I'm on the maximum amount of Lexapro. Even my doctor was like, I swear I'm funny all the time on myself, you guys. You guys have no idea. I'm so white that a man bun seems ethnic to me. I'm like, is Ryan Wallace European?
They come with a bad bun tonight.
Yeah. We actually share the same shampoo, guys. That's why we have the best hair in the room. I just saw that the other night. I already proposed to Ryan just because I want his last name. He just laughed. I'm like, that's a maybe, right? Jason Momoa is single now. Every woman in her 30s and 40s are dusting off their stilettos. They say all is fair in love and war. In this case, stilettos are weapons. And instead of axe throwing contests, we're going to have stiletto throwing contests. The winner gets a date with Aquaman, and all proceeds go to budget removals for the homeless. Whenever somebody invites me to a ridiculous unicorn event, and they get upset that I didn't dress up, I'm like, well, my horn is my nose. No costume needed. And I poop rainbows, just so y'all know. Speaking of which, ladies, have you ever had a coworker or a horny acquaintance constantly message you for pictures hey baby, what are you doing? You know, can you send me a picture? I want to see you. In hopes of receiving something slightly suggestive and sexual. I had one married guy push me to the point where I just finally sent him a picture of a nasty dump I had just taken. And he never bothered me again, guys. That's the way to do it. Works every time. Esther is a very Jewish name, though. For those of you who don't know, it's the only chapter in the Bible named after a woman, and she was also queen of the Jews. And so because I'm so white and of Jewish descent, I am by far the worst dancer in the room. Hands down. Research shows the funniest men get the best orgasm, and it unfortunately doesn't work the other way around because funny women are intimidating to men. They are not that funny. When you get to 40, you start thinking that every ache and pain is cancer. It's like, oh, I have a stomach ache, I've got cancer, or oh, my head hurts, I must have a tumor, or my chest hurts, I'm having a heart attack. Turns out it's just a panic attack. Turns out I might be a hypochondriac. I don't know. My doctor stopped returning my calls. Thank you guys. Y'all have a nice
Give it up for Esther, everybody. Thank you, Esther. She may not murder people, but she fucking kills it. Man, if I was a woman, I'd murder so many people. I wake up every morning who am I going to murder today? Can't wait. Okay. Someone barking at me? Oh, yes. Thank you, Vermillion, for reminding me. Quick announcement, we have got 19 comedians tonight. Oh. So we will be enforcing the lights. Lights start flashing at 5 minutes. Your ass gets booted off stage at 6 minutes. It's going to be great. All right, moving right along. We've got, where did he go? I was just looking at him. Mr. Evangelical.
Thank you, Nick Pelton, everybody. Give it up for him one more time. He's a good buddy of mine. He just saved me from a really stupid line of thinking the other day, actually. We were walking along, looking at the kids at the park. No reason, no real reason, just two grown men in our 30s. Neither of us have our own children, but we were, watching the kids in the park. And I don't feel like I have to tell you what we were doing there, but I mean, if I told you that we were playing disc golf, you'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever, creep. And we saw these kids. The reason we were watching these kids was they were fucking screaming, because that's what kids do, right? Because they fucking scream all the time. And they were going, it's in the tree, it's in the tree! And they were standing around to go see what's in the tree and trying to get it down or whatever's in the tree. And I put down my binoculars, and I said to my buddy, I said, that's probably the best that it ever gets, like right there, you have no concerns in your life, everything's better, it's all downhill from there, And then he put down his binoculars, and he was like, dude, you're fucking stupid, like, that makes no goddamn sense. And then he was right away. I was like, you're totally right. It's absolutely better, like, none of those kids had a beer in their hand. I mean, none of those kids have ever gotten laid, and if they had, they were probably actively trying to forget about it right then and there. And I mean, I as an adult, I have all the agency. I could get my own playground and put it in my fucking house, but admittedly, that's a really bad look for a guy that doesn't have any kids, right? So, I'm just saying it's better when you're an adult. It's better when you're an adult. You can do whatever you want until you have kids. You can do whatever you want until you have kids. I'm what's known as an antinatalist, which sounds like I want less, like I'm anti-children, like I'm Krampus or something, going around trying to steal them. And that's exactly what I want to do. I think that's a great job. It's a seasonal gig. No, I don't. I'm just kidding. But I certainly think like there are too many fucking people. I don't ever want to have any of my own fucking children. God forbid. I have one brother. He has 4 children. 4 children. 4 of them. I had to say it 4 times. He has 4 children. I can see how you could have one child. You can have one child on accident, right? And then I can see how you might want to have a second child because then you have one smelly, stinky little disease bag to like play with the other smelly, stinky little disease bag while you drink a beer and just go, hey, stop that, But I mean, kids are not like Pringles. It's not like once you pop the fun don't stop, Kids are not Oreos. You can't just do the entire sleeve. You have to fucking stop yourself at some point in time. When you start to get into 3 children, that's strike territory right there, Like, if you haven't hit a home run by then, you're probably not gonna, let's just be realistic. 4 kids. After he had 3 kids, my brother told me, he was like, don't do it. Just don't fucking do it. It's not worth it. It was like a smoking habit. He's like, it's just too much money. It's not worth it at the time. It's bad for your health. Just don't even, like while he's holding a baby. Like, don't even bother. And then they had another kid. 4 children. Could you imagine walking into the same wall 4 times? Can you imagine missing your flight 4 times? Or really, it's more like getting on the wrong flight 4 times, right? It's like getting on the flight. I've heard of people getting on the wrong flight, and then you're like, fuck, this isn't Cleveland, like, fuck. Then you get on another flight, and at the end of that flight, you hear the pilot go, welcome back to the OW. Wait, what? Where am I? Wait a second. What the fuck are you talking about? And it's the both of them. It's him and his wife. And I'm like, well, fuck, we gotta get somewhere. Let's get on another plane, I guess, Got on another plane. This time it was a fucking international. They're like, what the fuck? I didn't know there was a fucking Cleveland, Australia. Then they fucking, then what do? You're just tired and road weary. You gotta get back to fucking Cleveland somehow. And then they just got to LAX and he got a vasectomy and then they didn't even make their connecting flight, They just fucking called it good there. I got my referral for a vasectomy from my psychologist, by the way. He didn't even ask me any questions about it, really. He just kind of knew it was the right thing to do. And he was even selling me on the idea, He's like, I got one, and I'm a doctor, Anyway, that's my time. I'm Evan Galbert. Thank you very much.
Evan Galbert, everybody! All right. Give it up for Krampus. I have a confession to make, by the way. I played disc golf, and I was that man. That's true. 4 fucking kids, huh? Yeah. 4 wrongs don't make it right. All right. Up next, we got a very funny guy, Mr. Tomas Kavildo.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Yeah!
Sweet. That guy's doing really good. So I don't know if you guys know. I haven't made it very much a secret. I used to do a lot of film work. I've done it for about 8 years or so. But I'm just gonna tell you a story about the time I worked for National Geographic, which I know is super impressive. You can hold your so I worked at National Geographic, and when people I say that, people was like, "Oh, where were you? Like up in the Himalayas, or seeing some weird tribe and who knows where?" It's like, no, I stared at prairie dogs for 6 months. I don't know if you guys seen a lot of prairie dogs around. You have. They're on the side of the fucking road. And somebody wanted to make a fucking documentary about that shit. They even asked me once, it's like, hey, where do you know prairie dogs? And I just did this. I looked the fuck around. They're here. They're everywhere. Prairie dogs aren't that interesting. You didn't know that. They literally do 2 things. They fuck and they kill their young. I'm not joking about that. It's kind of interesting, right? You learn a lot about prairie dogs when you stare at them for 6 months. So during the shoot, and it was nowhere crazy. It was just up in the Via Caldera. I'm sure you guys have been up there and stuff like that. My producer, Norm, was a very normal guy. Haha. Normal guy. All right, you got the joke. So the guy was. I'll do it again. Don't worry. He was an interesting fellow. He was actually best friends. It was his uncle. So it was more than that. But it was his uncle who ran this prairie dog thing, and we get up there and everything, and for the first 3 months or so, we're just kind of filming fucking prairie dogs. There's a few things that happened that were really interesting. I remember this one time we were staring at a prairie dog. Prairie dog's gonna happen. I'm gonna say that a lot during this set, so just be prepared for that. We were staring at this prairie dog through a camera, and it's this long camera, so we were several yards, a few hundred yards away from this fucking thing. And we were just staring at it, being like, yep, that's a prairie dog. And it exploded. I'm not joking. Vaporized right in front of our eyes. Big blood mist. And we were like, oh no, the prairie dogs learned how to use guns. It wasn't that. Turns out people like to shoot them. Rednecks specifically like to shoot them. we were up there, and I saw it explode, and I started hearing this. He shot at us. Don't worry, we were in like a blind. We were in like camouflage and shit, so they couldn't see us anyways. But like, still, I was offended. And so obviously we get out and we're like, "Yo, what the fuck? Stop shooting our cast." That's our it's a money maker right there. I mean, they understood after they dropped all 14 shorts, light cans on the ground. We're like, "Oh shit, man, sorry." I was like, "Yeah, that's an accurate response for shooting at us." They had AR-15s, like big fucking guns, for a thing that's this big. They were nice enough about it. They were like, "Oh man, we didn't see you." It's like, that's the point of a fucking blind. That's why camouflage is in there. So that was a funny situation. That was interesting. The next thing that happened, we got rid of them. Don't worry, they're gone. I killed them. I just belittled them because I actually knew them all. They were in my. I got you. All right. I'm not going to get to my next thing really quick, but I'll just tell you this one thing. We got a. Was that the 1 minute mark or like 1 minute? Okay. I'll just have to double check. So we got we caught footage of like a cougar, right? It was really cool. We're like, "Oh my god, that's so awesome." Look at the fucking cougar. It wasn't a middle-aged woman at the party, it was an actual cougar. We saw it and we were like, "Whoa, that's so cool." We showed it to Norm. And he was like, wow, let's get more of that. And I was like, "How?" "It's a cougar. It went back into the woods. What do you want us to do? We ain't fucking adventurers and shit. We're just two dudes in the fucking goddamn camera." So what he decided to do was he got a taxidermy cougar. And he wanted to get more footage of the cougar, so he brought this taxidermy cougar. And it wasn't a cougar, it was a puma. It was a different fucking thing. So anyways, the shot went like this. He was like, "I have this thing, let's do it." So we're like a couple hundred yards away. 1 second. He put it down. He put the fucking foot down in front of the camera, and he wanted us to pan up. So he put the foot down, and then we panned up to this glass-eyed marble fucking thing, as if it was alive. It didn't make the shot. That's all my time, guys. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Tomas Kavildo, everybody! National Geographic man. See, this is why I love Wayward Comedy Wednesday. One man's set is another man's solution. All you need to do is fuck a bunch and eat your young. You know? Like a prairie dog. Like a no-no prairie dog. Let's see it real quick. Can you do it? Yeah, we got it. This guy's ready to go. Okay. Thanks again, Tomas. Up next, we've got a straight shooter, real honest guy, by the name of Mark Clydes. Mark Clydes. Maybe he lied when he put his name on the list. How deep does this go? How meta are we going, Mark? All right. Excellent, my friend.
Peter Parker gets bit by a radioactive spider. He turns into some kind of super being. I get bit by a radioactive spider, and now I'm just super obsessed with knitting. But I'm just glad to have something to do with all this string coming out of my butt. Well, it's not coming out of my butt exactly. I have a new hole between my scrotum and my anus. called a spinneret. That's where all the strings come out of. Just don't be surprised if for your birthday you get a hat I knitted. I collect garden gnomes from other people's gardens. You know, to a garden gnome, the garden is the center of the gnome universe. But my gnomes don't live in the garden anymore. Now they live in the bathroom. They line the walls on shelves and pretend not to watch you as you use the restroom. And then talk about you when you leave. On Fridays, they order out for pizza. And whenever they get bored, they play chess or have an orgy. There's a lot of spanking and beard pulling, but they leave their hats on. Every once in a while, Noam Chomsky drops by. Because as solitary as gnomes are, they enjoy the company of other gnomes. After a year of this, I return them all to their gardens so they can once again experience the patterns of nature, the sun and the rain, the stars and the moon. And now and then, bend the ear of a passing gopher or butterfly and tell them a story about their time in the bathroom. I like to read self-help books. What I'm reading right now is called Change Your Socks, Change Your Life. According to the author's research, your success in life is due mainly to the type of socks you wear, which she separates into two categories: the right socks and the wrong socks. The right socks allow blood to move freely around the ankle area, thus allowing more available for the brain. The wrong socks restrict blood flow around the ankle, thus limiting the amount to the brain. In test after test, it was proven that people wearing the wrong socks were poor decision makers, which makes a lot of sense because I was wearing the wrong socks when I decided to buy the book. There's no tree that isn't beautiful, except maybe the prosciutto tree. This is a bunch of prosciutto mashed together in the shape of a tree. Which, when you think about it, has its own charms.
Oh my God.
A can of sardines was packed so tightly that inside each of the sardines was a can of sardines. And inside each of those sardines, in those cans, in those sardines, were cans of sardines. And it just kept going like that. My favorite letter is H, but I'm in love with the shape of you. When I was a kid, I had a friend named, let me start over. When I was a kid, I had a friend made entirely of fruits and vegetables. His name was Billy Joe Vivaldi. He had a rare genetic disorder that caused him to be made out of fruits and vegetables. I'll never forget it. Or the sacrifice he made. You see, when our class got stranded on a school field trip and we ran out of food, he was the second one that we ate.
Mark Wise. Give it up for Mark Wise, everybody. Doesn't that sound like a Hanna-Barbera knockoff of Snow White? You know? Instead of 7 lovely dwarves, he's got 7 perverted gnomes hanging out in the bathroom. Looky, gawky, touchy, jerky, and my favorite, dumpy. Up next, we've got a very, very funny comedian. Give it up for Catherine Myrose. Come on now.
Hi guys, good to be back. Oh my gosh. You know what hasn't been good? Hearing anything about NFTs recently. Has anyone been a victim of a conversation about NFTs in the last few weeks? Yeah, and I say it that way specifically because I really feel like I'm being talked at. And I don't have a problem with them inherently, like the fact that they exist doesn't bother me. I just don't really care. And anyone with an NFT seems to really want me to care. It's like, oh, it's the most lucrative investment, man. It's totally a neat JPEG. You know, like Snoop Dogg and Paris Hilton have one. Everyone. It's like, oh yeah, that really sounds like everyone, man. Like, JPEG. Now I'm no tech whiz, but I've got one of those on my computer back home. Maybe a few. No, informs me. Your name is listed as the owner, and so no one can like take it from you. Like, oh. And this JPEG, you spent $2,000 on that, right? Yup. Mm-hmm. Okay. I just love the irony of the universe sometimes because I wrote this joke last week, and then a few days ago, I got some really interesting news because I was basing this joke off of this really interesting busboy that I work with. He's 19, and he has braces, and he's always like sucking the extra spit from between the wires. I'm just painting a picture, guys. And he stands, exactly. And he always stands just a few inches too close. But he would always talk to me about NFTs. But he quit a few days ago, and I found out why. It's because he sold his NFT for a $2 million profit.
What?
$2 million.
Did he show you the money?
Yes. I wish I was lying. I really did. He had one of those 8 ones that's really special. It was cool. Yeah, no, I know. I was speechless as well, guys. I was too. And honestly, I think I would have been a happier person if I had never been privy to that information ever before. You know, like I could have lived a happier life had I never crossed my ear holes. And I feel that way about like 87% of the social interactions I do have. Like I would be lighter on my feet if I didn't have that. And so in order to kind of combat this, I've taken up scowling. Just everywhere I go, scowling. Resting bitch face just like didn't have the desired effect for me. It wasn't doing enough. I had to take it to the next notch. And sometimes when I'm not feeling inspired, I just think about picking up dog shit on a really hot summer day. Or Ted Cruz, you know, whichever works best for you. But I don't want to take up too much time because I know there's a lot of us, so I'm going to cut this short. But anyways, I hope I ruined your week. Like my week was ruined when I found out my best boy made $2 million. Anyways, we are doing a show next Tuesday. A week from Saturday at Tumble Root. February 5th. Please come. It'll be fun. Let's get it on. We have a lot of people. Thank you for your time.
All right. Give it up for Catherine, Myrose, everybody. Jesus Christ. Who's having an existential crisis right now? Put it up.
Oh yeah!
$2 million for wanting a picture of an ape. Good Lord. Okay. Up next, we've got a very, very funny comedian. He's clueless. He has no idea I'm looking at him right now. His name, now he's in denial. His name is TJ Jones. Come on down.
How's it going, everybody? You can hear me? Give me the other mic.
No, you're good.
Doing both.
Yeah.
How's it going, everybody?
There you go.
Put one down here like a magician.
Doing good?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm bald. I actually, this takes a lot of work. I shave my head. The reason is because that I have this male pattern baldness where I have the horseshoe right here. And then right here at the front in the center, there's this little patch that grows. And I call that the island of loneliness and despair. And I'm just not having it. Everybody get their booster shot? Yeah, I got my booster shot. I heard a lot of people complain about side effects. I didn't really feel any side effects. Since I got the booster shot, though, I do have the uncontrollable urge to eat human brains all the time. Tomas, I feel like you're safe. I did everything they told me to fucking do. I got the vaccine and I got the next brand of vaccines, and I don't trust the government, I don't trust doctors or any of those motherfuckers. But I went ahead and did it because I felt like it was the responsible thing to do. And I just found out that I'm gonna have to get a colonoscopy. I have to get a colonoscopy. And boy, did my conspiratorial mind start running with that. Like these motherfuckers, they're just trying to fucking charge my insurance company. They're just, this is not right. It's just not right. I sounded like an anti-vaxxer. Let's see. I'd like to thank Catherine for stealing all the NFT material tonight. 5 people that are going to come up and do NFT stuff. Everything, the thing that really bothers me these days is that everything is fake. You know what I mean? Everything is fake. Celebrity is fake. We're using currency that you can't spend. We're buying art that you can't touch or look at. And Airbnb is one of the largest hospitality companies in the world, and they own no real estate. And Uber and Lyft, two of the biggest transportation companies in the world, and they own no vehicles. It's all fake. It's just vapor, much like the punchline of this joke. I'm kind of bummed out right now. I used to be such an exciting guy. I used to do drugs all the time, and I was just like the life of the party, or at least I thought I was. And like these days, what happened was everything fell apart because I enjoyed those drugs way too much. And now I'm just boring and I don't do anything. Like the most exciting part of the day for me is when I'm taking a shit, because it's like I just never know what's gonna happen. It's like it feels like I'm fucking trying to pass a dying star through my asshole. That's a perfect analogy too, because it's dense and it's hot and it's heavy, and afterwards my universe has changed. This is going really, really good. I'm glad we live streamed this tonight. It's really exciting. Somebody give me the light, all right?
Almost 3 minutes.
What? I've got 3 minutes left?
And then another minute.
That's 3 minutes.
That's 2.5.
That's too long. What else can I talk about? Let me think. I got nothing. I'm just going to stand here for a second trying to think of something. Okay, I'll do an old one. I discovered shaping recently. That's fun for me. Shaping is when one fat, disgusting part of your body rubs against another fat, disgusting part of your body until it starts to burn. I quit doing drugs and I gained all this weight, and now all this is on fucking fire all the fucking time now. And I have a job where and it's a really physical job where I have to lift heavy things all day, and every once in a while I will be doing something at work, and I have to stop in the middle and be like, oh, wait a second, guys. Oh, fuck. Oh, God damn it. I'm like, dude, are you okay? What the fuck is going on? I'm like, oh, it just burns so fucking bad. It's like somebody sprayed Tabasco sauce on my inner thighs. How the fuck did I get up inside my asshole? All right, that's it for me, folks.
All right, everybody. Give it up for TJ. Give me the light, Jones. Boy, time flies when you're having fun, huh? So I'm sorry for the night that you're having, TJ. And he's telling me that this is the better mic, so we're going to do a quick switch here, very technical thing. Just like that, everybody. Does that sound better? Honestly, everybody, give me some feedback. Beautiful. We'll stick to that. Perfect. We're cruising now. Okay. I'm going to choose the next person the same way I make almost every decision in life, by going directly for the red flag. So can I have red flag? Red flag. Come on down. Here he is. Yeah. I see it already.
What the fuck's up, Saturday? How you doing tonight? Yes, I am Red Flag. It's a great name. I'm a construction worker by day, comedian by night, part of the PRD League. If you don't know what that is, Professional Raw Dogging League. I know what you're thinking. Everything you just said is in itself a red flag. Is that why you're a red flag? No, trust me, it's better. I'll tell you, you gotta wait. You gotta be patient. Have fucking patience. You people want it all so quick, just wait. Let me tell you, life comes in lessons, and I learned a couple good lessons. The first lesson is if you're gonna do a comedy set, do not get plastered. Do not drink 4 beers. Do not do $3.99s. Do not do half a gram of Coke, and then come up here, because that's where I fucked up. When you do comedy, you have to be focused. You have to give a shit. It's not like driving or raising a child. You have to pay attention. You know. So I got up here, and like I said, I learned that lesson. Don't get too fucked up. Lesson 2, if you get that fucked up, you're gonna give some comedians ammo, and they'll make some funny shit out of it. I laugh. I had a good fucking time, you know. But I swear to God, though, I had so many white people coming after me trying to take me down. I knew what the downtown obelisk felt like. But there was one guy, one comedian, one native guy, a funny guy, hilarious guy. You're gonna see him tonight. Talented guy. He's funnier than me. He comes up here. After I finish my drunken disaster, a native, and my people will call that guy Red Flag. Fucking genius. I'm taking it. And I love that name so much. I'm not gonna go after him. I love the name, and also I don't want to get scalped on the way to my car. What you guys don't know is I'm actually an undocumented immigrant. So I'm like one of the first undocumented immigrant comedians you'll know, because most of them try to highlight we're Spider-Man. I'll tell I'm out here saying it proud, And when you're undocumented immigrant, people think, oh man, you have a lot of fears, right? Like what if they catch you, or you're gonna get deported, you're gonna have to restart your new life, you're gonna miss out on your family and friends, you're being sent somewhere you haven't been to in years. It's like, no, really my biggest fear is they're gonna make fun of my broken Spanish. I speak that table boy Spanish, they'll fucking rip me to shreds. Oh, folks, I gotta confess something. You're gonna hate me. I know you will. But I did commit the grand sin of owning NFTs and crypto. I know. You have the right to. I sold it all. I'm not part of it. I left the cult. I knew it was time to leave, but my hooker started giving me crypto asset advice. I was like, that's when I'm out. I left. My friends say, Francisco, you're a little too vulgar. You should try some clean comedy. Be clean. And I'm like, okay, fine. Pussy. I'll think of some clean jokes. So here's a clean one. Okay, ready? Okay, why did the colonel run away from the cop? Because the court mafia was gonna get him and he didn't want to get popped. See, that's why I don't do that clean shit. Horrible. See that? See that? Oh, horrible. No. What would I apologize for that? What was I gonna say? I'm having so much fun. You just, and hey, can we give it applause for the other comedians that went up here? Because it's not easy to come up here, The great ones make it look easy. Just be proud of intro blaster this time. I can give you a decent set. What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, I remember now. Oh yeah, the story about this guy at my work. He's called the Wigs, and he had short hair now, but when he was younger, he had a really long, flowing, like Jason Momoa looking fucker. And he did some editing. We called him the Wigs, Pelucas. So we get sent out to this job site a couple days ago, and we're working at this lady's property. We're building a sidewalk. Mexicans doing construction, shocking, I know. So we're doing our thing, we're getting ready, and the Wigs, the older guy, lights up a cigarette because he likes to smoke. It's his thing. I don't judge. The owner though comes out angry. She says, "Put that cigarette out. Put it out right now." Furious. And so the Wigs, just respectful, puts it out. And the lady goes on to tell us that, listen, when my father smoked near his end days, when I would visit him at the hospital, he wasn't the person I recognized. He wasn't the man. So I really would respect if you just won't do it. And if you yourself not do it, care about your friends, your family, the ones who want to see you live on. She leaves. Not even a second later, without fucking hesitation, the Wig says, "That was his fucking problem, not mine." The man. Oh, was that a little too fucked up? I'm sorry, folks. I do that. That's why I don't have as many friends anymore. Okay, folks, if you could do me a big, juicy Italian favor, if you didn't do anything good this week, if you spat on a homeless person or robbed somebody, just do this and it'll clear it up. If you've got Spotify, look up The Francisco Show, give me a follow, that'd be great. Let's give it up for all the other comedians that are better than me!
All right, give it up, everybody, for Red Flag. Red Flag looking for a green card. Excellent. And I want to remind everybody that we are live streaming right now. So anybody else who wants to confess to crimes or try to elicit any more wacky scenarios tonight, please do. Okay, up next we got a very, very funny comedian. Where did he go? I was looking at him. Everyone wants to look at him. Sam Lynch, come on down.
Thank you very much. I'm the kind of guy who does odd jobs outside. They don't let me inside anymore. But I did some prescribed burns this week. Does anyone know what a prescribed burn is? Yeah, it's where you go into the woods and you set the woods on fire so it doesn't catch on fire. And this particular organization I'm working for, as needed, and there's nothing more validating than hitting a nice bong or getting a text that says, "Hey, we need you to set shit on fire." So yeah, and also any red-blooded American, my back hurts a little bit. Like every red-blooded American, I drank a Red Bull, snorted some ibuprofen, and went out the door.
Yeah. We're Adderall.
I need some of that shit. Anyways, but I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm tired. I am tired. Adderall is fucking fun, dude.
I love Adderall, bro.
Yeah, this guy needs Adderall. This guy takes Adderall. Anyways, fuck, I'm off track now. Working so much makes me want to return to the wilderness. Makes me want to embrace my animal instinct. Makes me want to be a beast. Makes me want to be a lion. Which basically means I want to be a stay-at-home dad. I want to wake up in the morning on a nice hot rock, just yawn. Bare my teeth. I see my hot boss babe over there in her power suit. She's been up since 5 in the morning, just working on her fucking novel. All I did yesterday was punch a hyena in the face. She solved cancer. She gets up in the morning, going to work day, and is like, oh, you know, I'm gonna play with the kids. I'm gonna work on my podcast. Maybe I'll take a nap. Anyways, you know, I think I need to read more. Does anyone think they need to read more? I need to read more because sometimes I'm boring down a conversation. You know, it's like I see too many memes on Reddit and Instagram. You can't start a conversation like being like, oh yeah, I saw this meme with the bee from the Bee movie, and the colors were reversed and it said wasp. That's not a conversation starter. That's a conversation ender. Also, like what I think I need to do for myself is take a book and go to like a coffee shop or outdoors, so you know, in public, it's less easy to get distracted. And also, I think I look hot when I read. You know, it's like that hot barista over there must think I'm so cool for reading Infinite Jest. Maybe she'll see me on Tinder later and swipe right on me. That's a stupid thing. Why don't I just approach the barista and talk to her? She says, "That fucking work." And yeah, that's the thing. Is it the fantasy of every pseudo-intellectual male is that it's a goth barista with glasses? Or is that just me? It's just me. But yeah, and you know, I also have the fantasy of like going to the airport, looking hot, wearing a nice jacket, reading a book, my legs are crossed, looking suave. You know, my beard. You know, does my beard look like the beard of a rugged intellectual? Or is it the kind of beard like I need like pull Slim Jims out of? You gotta be careful about that shit. So I'm at the airport, you know, it's like, am I gonna meet like the youngest, the most beautiful wildlife biologist from Nairobi or Switzerland, or something like that, and have this wonderful conversation? And no, I don't want to talk to anyone at the airport. I want to take my edible, I'm gonna put my headphones in, listen to this podcast about fish, and go to fucking sleep. That's all I got. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Give it up for Sam Lynch. Stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home dude. You decide. Up next, we got a really funny guy. Where'd he go? Corey Herrera. Come on down. We're moving along. We're cruising.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I had breakfast this morning. I had some malto meal. Anyone ever have malto meal?
Yeah.
All right. It says, stir until you reach your desired thickness. So I was stirring it for 4 days. The desired thickness I wanted was Latina, you know? I drive a Dodge Grand Caravan, which is cool, because it lets every woman I meet know I come with lots of baggage, you know? I got room for more. Okay, thank you. I started dating again. Yeah, and I don't know, it doesn't matter what age you are, it's always awkward, you know what I mean? So now there's dating apps, so I started the Tinder, you know? That's how we say on the wrist, the Tinder. Building a little Tinder. I'm gonna go on Tinder right now. See if anyone's swiping left or right. I don't even know which direction. I think it's swipe left. I don't even know. But like, it's like people put pictures of themselves that aren't accurate, so it's kind of like false advertising. You know what I mean?
Right.
So online dating is a lot like fast food. It's like, oh, that doesn't look like what I ordered, but I'm still gonna eat it, you know? Gotta get that dollar menu special. Yeah. Apple recently came out with some new emojis. One with a prosthetic arm, a person in a wheelchair, and then a blind guy, and then a blind seeing eye dog. Quick question, who are those last two emojis for? Anyone texting their blind friends that shit? That's kind of messed up, right? Need to think a little bit harder next time, Apple. That's why I'm Android, Plus, that's all I can afford. Let's see. I got to dress the Indian in the room. How's it going? I'm 3 tribes. I'm Pueblo. I'm Navajo. My beard is Apache, right? It's a true story. I wish I could grow up more. I come from a nice gated community, right? There's a barbed wire fence around the res, So as a native, I've never been out of my homeland. I've never moved, just relocated. You white people better laugh at that shit, dude. Yeah, you might have heard about a little real estate issue there, I can go to any restaurant I want because I have a reservation. Right? I hate it when people say, I'm a native New Mexican, I'm a native New Mexican. It's like, really? Did you help fight off the conquistadors back in the day? To preserve our way of life? No, you did not. Stop saying that, please. Are you good? Let's see, I feel like people who are scared of the dark are racist. Just gonna leave that there. When I'm bored, I like to take bottled water and go to a river or ocean and dump it out and be like, you're free, Water is life, everybody. I picked up a few hobbies during this COVID. I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to open up a few businesses. I want to open up a business that sells uneven desks, wobbly chairs, and wobbly tables and call it Not Even, Where'd you get that desk from? Not even, bro, I also want to open up a restaurant that sells pho and call it Fucking Sick. That's right. Thank you. I'll go back to my notes. More about myself. I work at an all-native school. It's cool because we just talk shit about history all day, Man, founding fathers ain't found shit, Boston Tea Party, just a bunch of white people cosplaying as natives, Throwing tea off a boat. If they were real natives, they would have stole that and sold it back to them. You know what I mean? At a bingo or a bake sale or something, right? All right, you guys are great. My name is Herrera. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, everybody. Herrera, give it up. Yeah, he's right. That blind guy emoji is really weird, but even weirder is the blind seeing eye dog. It's not going to get you very far. Okay. Up next, we've got Matthew. I'm sorry, Matthew, I couldn't read your handwriting and I forget your last name. Well, come on down. Help me, say it. Insidious. I'm sorry.
Okay. I need to practice. ¿Cómo estás nosotros? Yo necesito practicar español porque yo necesito give career to my hija, no. So my daughter is gonna be 10 and she's getting to that age where she's telling daddy, I don't like you, no. So I tell her, and she gets really mad because I've been trying to speak Spanish with her, and she says, I don't like you, Dad. I'm like, tú quieres muchos, mijita. And she gets so mad at me. No te culpas. No, it's okay, mijita. And then she tells me, Dad, you're pissing me off. So I tell her, mijita, it's better to be pissed off than pissed on. And then she gets mad at me. So, and then, with that case, I'm trying to encourage her creativity to become a band, And she's my retirement plan, so I gotta hope to get, she becomes a good band. So, but I was like, what do you want your name of your band to be, Mama's? I call her Mama. And I tell her, she told me, I want the band to be the Boops. I was like, what? I was like, I'm sorry, Minita, that's not gonna work. You can't be the Boops, no. It won't work. When you're little, yes, it might work, no, but when you get older, no. So at that time, I was drinking a Modelo, no. So I called her the Party Modelos, no. And they were like, no, Dad, I want to be the Poops. I was like, I'll make you a deal, mijita. If you, become the Party Modelos, we'll have the Poop album as the first album. It's called the Poop album. And I already got the first jab. It's called I Poop Myself. Oh, yeah. And then, so, in their creativity, I'm trying to be creative with her, But I've been coming up with a story. It's very new, so you gotta give me some credit, because I'm still trying to figure it out. I call it the Farming Vampire Hunters. That's what it's called. And then you're gonna have the humans where they're alas and vergas. The ala vergas. So that's the humans, But the vampires, they're a clan of vampires. There's 2 different clans to start, And one day they just see these vampires battling it out in front of their land. So they run out here with their freaking garlic mace, spears and shit, and freaking scarecrow, and the scarecrow, if you burn it, it protects them, So, they ended up naming the vampire clans catching out. Because that's where they're all they're all catching out. Freak out, they're freaking out. So that's what, and then, I can't get into the stories, but the town that they're from, it's a small town in the mountains called Hempville, USA. And that's the town on Ganja Street 420. That's the street, that's totally the street. So there's a battle royal between the vampires catching out and a la vergas, So, but in this, the ala vergas have little kids, and for generations the werewolves have been assimilated. So some of them transform 3 different ways. They stay a pretty little dog chihuahuas, which I'm gonna kick those things. I'm not mean though, but those things irritate me. I don't know why. But anyway, so the little chihuahua are like dogs, and then there's the wolves, and then there's the werewolves, So the werewolves are really keen to the cats. You know what I mean? But they don't like the chingaos. They do not like the chingaos. That's why they fought with the cats. And the way humans and vampires became close-knit friends is because of the werewolf. The werewolf went out there, tried to defend the cats, and the little kid, I still don't know if it's a guy or a girl, I'm still making it up as I go. So I don't know if it's a guy or girl. So this little kid goes running, no, don't hurt my doggy! No! So yeah, they do that, and so the cats protect the kid. So from there on out, the cats and the ala vergas are best friends. So they fight back the chingaos, and the chingaos run back. And then they find another clan called That's My Chicken. That My Chicken have gave in. They have incorporated the chupacabras. Okay, so the chupacabras are fighting with That My Chicken. You know what I mean? So then they come into a big battle royale, and they still get their ass kicked. Because we're the ass no, we got the scarecrows. Or you can send us a Zobra, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with it. So the scarecrows. So anyway, they still get their ass kicked, so they go back and they're all, oh my gosh, what's going on? What do we do? So they're like, oh, and that time they go back, but then the kids get, like, they have a fight in between themselves. So the kids go and they get betrayed, so they teach the chingaos magic, and they incorporate La Llorona. That's my story. Thank you.
Give it up for Matthew and Zias. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along. We're about halfway through. For those of you who are new to this, between every comedian, I take a shot and a beer, and we keep going until I fall down. So I'm thinking about we're about halfway there, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for a very funny comedian, Mr. Tripp. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Before I get started, thank you again. Before I get started, quick announcement. Please no photographs tonight. Please no photographs. And please no videotaping either. We can leave the live stream, no one's watching. But please no photographs, please no videos, because I'm turning this performance into an NFT, okay? Some people tonight, I don't understand NFTs. I don't like NFTs. Folks, that's how poor people talk. Right? Oh, NFTs, they're a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. You're a fool for investing in them. Oh, really? Would a fool be honored by 3.5 seconds of digital eye contact with Mark Zuckerberg at an ceremony in my honor after I became the first human being to finger my own asshole in the metaverse? Does that sound like something a fool would do? Digital assets, more like digital assets. That's it. I just recently moved from Santa Fe to Albuquerque. When I lived in Santa Fe, yeah. All you simp. When I lived in Santa Fe, David Duchovny's dirtbag twin brother. When I lived in Santa Fe, I lived on the south side, right? Ooh, the south side. And now I live in Albuquerque. I live in the North Valley. Ooh, you know anything about that? I moved from the Albuquerque of Santa Fe to the Santa Fe of Albuquerque. You know, that joke kills in Denver. Yeah. The Santa Fe city flag is a big white person's house with a tiny Black Lives Matter poster in the window. In the North Valley, it's a big white person's house with a tiny Black Lives Matter poster in the window, sponsored by Los Poblanos. That's the only difference. Santa Fe in the North Valley, I barely moved. I didn't even have to change granola dealers. Same guy. Same route. Santa Fe and Albuquerque, they're different places, man. They're very different. They're not far, but they're very different. Santa Fe, my favorite sign I ever saw in Santa Fe was an advertisement on the side of a bus. It said, if you see an animal in a hot car, call 911. That's the most Santa Fe-ass sign I've ever seen. If you see a sign like that, you know that the community you're in, the rich white people are so rich and so white, they don't know what problems are anymore. They're like, oh, have you seen an animal in a car? Call the police. You see a street light out near the church, oh, God, call 911. It's an emergency. In Albuquerque, if you saw an animal in a hot car and you called 911 and the police showed up, if the police showed up, they'd be like, what are you, a fucking tourist? This is Albuquerque. You don't know how to break into a car? We got actual problems in this city that we're not solving. We're not about to start actually solving your fake problems. You want to call 911 about some random white person shit? The nearest place is Rio Rancho. Okay? Yes, Rio Rancho, the #1 residential destination in America for people who wish they could have killed Trayvon Martin. You know it's true. I don't have a job. I recently quit my job. Great resignation, and it is great. Yeah. I'm like, you know, it's weird. You fall away from the world a little bit. I used to get emails and phone calls. Now nobody even knows I'm here. It's amazing. I honestly love it. I love being discarded and cast aside and forgotten about. I'm like Anne Hathaway in Les Mis, except I'm psyched about it. I dreamed a dream of sleeping in. There was more to that, but I forgot the lyrics. I'm going to win an Oscar for most pointless. That's me. I don't know. What I do all day now with no job, I don't know if anyone else here has no job. This is what I do. I'm mostly just driving around. That's it. And if anyone asks me, what are you doing? I'd be like, oh, I got some errands. But that's an errand is a lie you tell yourself to just get out of the house. If anyone is ever like, yeah, I got a lot of errands, their marriage is in tatters. I'm just driving around. That's all I'm doing. Driving around, looking at all the other people driving around who are looking at me driving around. And I'm like, I think this is the economy. I'm just driving around. Occasionally I pop into Home Depot, steal some shit. But like this, it's called self-checkout. Have you heard of this? It's amazing. That's it. All right, well, I'm going to leave it there, folks. Thank you guys. My name is All right, everybody. Give it up for Mr. Tripp. Style making. You know, I'll tell you what. He used to be funny. But then he fucking moved to Albuquerque. North Valley. I'll tell you what. There's no valley in Albuquerque, and there's no fucking north in Albuquerque. It's southern blister. Anyway, speaking of Albuquerque, up next, we've got a very funny gentleman, Mr. Troy. Come on down.
Oh, hey, thank you. First, I never apologize, but I have to apologize to the bartender. Last week during my set, he said something, and so rudely, I got mad and said, like, fuck you. 'Cause I don't know what he said because I have such a fragile ego. It's like, I think he just said, like, be funny. It's like, that's what I'm trying to do, like, so. I feel better, but I did take a risk. I wore my skinny jeans. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. First of all, being body shamed by my clothing, you know. Second of all, like, these were just the jeans that were my size that I was able to steal. So, like, shame on me, but like. Because I'm not an emo kid. Like, can I wear skin? Like, I don't even know. The shittiest thing is, like, I'm a grower, not a shower. So.
I don't know what you're talking
My eyes are big. Hey, I met with my one girlfriend today. Not my one, but one of them. Not a girlfriend. There's a friend who's a girl. Whatever. It's important because her titties were out, and I told her, like, her titties look good, and she thanked me, and it was like, I feel like as a guy we get gypped because there's no like cleavage for the dick, you know. No, wow, I'm done. You want to meet me in the bathroom and wrap this out for me? Make it a good evening. She said, yes, there is, and surprised like none of us knew it. I still don't know. Is it the shaft? No, there's no, like, you can't just have part of your balls hang out, you know, just like, hey, ladies, this is what I'm working with. Not funny, but it's true. I don't know why. What else? I was gonna say something. Oh, Russia? Are we like going to war with Russia? Didn't we solve this in Rocky IV? I feel like everything that was the 80s is like coming back to haunt us. You know? Like these insufferable Instagrammers on TV. That's 80s, you know? No? Okay, no one remembers that. God, you guys ever heard of Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola, they make this soda pop. And if you know anything about the story of Coca-Cola, back in the day when they first made it, the guy made it with cocaine. And it was the secret ingredient, and it's still like the secret ingredient. And like Coca-Cola is like $1 billion company, so it got me thinking, like, man, I could make a soda pop. I've already got the name Poppy Pop. You want to guess my secret ingredient? It's heroin from the poppy plant. I would drink that. I have a problem. No, this is not an AA meeting. All right. Like, I'm embarrassed to say this, especially on live stream, because this is going to ruin my stream cred, but I don't know what heroin looks like. All right. A little fact about me. So if you want to educate me, no, I'm just kidding. They do say, but really, what are you saying? So So, marijuana legal? Yes. Although you're gonna make drug testing in the workplace a little bit tricky. You know? How do we feel about drug testing in the workplace? See, I'm 100% for it. See, I'm working right now. I will test any drugs you have. Ladies, if you got birth control, I'll crush that shit up and snort it, you know? Because what's the worst that could happen? I make 30 cents less an hour? Is that how that works out? I'm no pharmacologist. Hey, I'm Troy. Hey, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Everybody give it up for Troy. Very good. I'm going to take a second for me here, folks. I just want you all to know it's really, really hard as a host to go to the bathroom, especially if it's number 2. Because you never know when someone's just going to give up immediately. And I'm a professional, too. So whatever state I'm in there, if I hear my name, I'm coming out, and I'm talking. So far, we've been lucky. Emmett, to answer your question, your name is on the list. Yeah. And you're up next. Come on down. Give it up for Emmett. I think it says McKinney. Emmett McKinney, everybody. McKinney, I'm sorry, I'm being ridiculous.
You know, I was kind of like intrigued about this fucking brick wall behind you. I like moves. Weird man a little bit. So this is the very first fucking time I've ever been in front of this nitty. Forever! Like, I'm like literally like, all right. So let's think about some things. Troy, talk about drugs. I like drugs. I mean, do anybody here? Well, you don't have to answer. I mean, you don't have to say yes. I love drugs. Yeah, we got one. Oh my God, there's 2 fucking people. There's three. I fucking love drugs. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, and I'm not high right now. I'm really not. I'm not high. I wish I was. I really wish that I was fucking high right now. Like, I swear to fucking God that I was fucking high right this moment. But I'm not. And that sucks. It sucks that I'm not fucking high. But I'm drunk. And I love being drunk. I mean, if you think about fucking being drunk, it means that you are on a whole other fucking level. Another level that no one else has. You know what I'm saying? Like a level where you are completely oblivious to whatever anyone else thinks. How fucking amazing is that? I mean, if you really think about it, it's like why are all right, so drugs are illegal for some strange fucking reason, which I don't understand. Because they all of the drugs that we do make us happy. Like whores. I mean, whores make us happy. Who does not love a fucking whore?
I mean, really, seriously. So, the last girlfriend I had was a girl. Was a whore. She was. She was a whore. She charged me $25 the first night that I was with her, and which was really shitty because I just paid for. I bought her, the margarita things, the pool ones, the big ones. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The big fucking ones. And I was like, fuck. Are we gonna get the fuck? And she was like, no, it's $25. And I was like, $25? Really? And she's like, wow. It's 10 in the front, 25 in the back, and 45 in the trunk. And I was like, what? 45 in the fucking trunk? Like, we're in a fucking trunk? Like, I don't have a fucking trunk. I have a truck. We have a bed. I have a bed in my truck. So we're gonna fuck in the fucking bed? Do you fuck in the trunk? And if you did die and you fucked in the trunk, would it not be weird as fuck to get caught dead with a fucking chick? You know what was shitty? Is that at the end of all of it, she was charging me $50. 50 fucking bucks. 50 fucking bucks. To fuck her. Every fucking time, and but I've kind of lost my thought of where I was going. But this is the first time I've ever been But also, no, I'm gonna keep going. No, I'm gonna keep going.
Everybody, give it up. The Kindling. All right. And we all wish we were high right now, too. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes when I'm weed, I get so desperate I put in my contacts. That's as close as I get. Okay. Up next, we got a really funny guy. His name is Million Aluminum. Come on now. Yes.
Use that handle. Guys, my name's Million. That's a little weird, right? Weird name, but weird name because I was born in another country. My parents were born in Eastern Europe, and the thing about socialists is they learned the same bullshit about capitalists that you guys learned about communism. So, my mom taught me when I was young that, Americans obsessed with money. So, I spent 30 years introducing myself to people being like, that's not fair, Mom. I'm just going to try this. Hi, my name's Million. Like $1 million? $1 million of fucking anything. What the hell is it? Pick a noun, okay? I don't know. I don't think I'm a very good person. I've been reflecting a lot in my life. I think I might be a bad person. I call it being chaotic woke. I know in my head, I know that it's wrong to push suffering and pain on other people, to laugh when people don't get vaccinated and then they die of COVID. That's not nice. But the heart wants what the heart wants, right? I don't know. I'm a very judgmental person. Of course, in my defense, I have very good judgment. So that's not totally true. I was in a long distance relationship, so that's not good judgment. I was in a long distance relationship, and we thought we wanted to make it a short distance relationship. So I moved halfway across the country, and the distance, it kept getting shorter and shorter until the relationship just vanished into thin air. We talked about moving in together one time and just stopped having sex. That's it made sense, we had these ideas that weren't perfect of each other. She's this very put together, beautiful person who cares about her appearance, and
you know. Like the only reason I know it's probably almost time for a haircut is because people have started making jokes about Home Alone. You know what? That's fine. I'll take more of the funnier of the wet bandits over fucking Napoleon Dynamite any fucking day of the week. Getting older has its perks. That's all I'm saying. Was it Burger getting older? I paid off my student loans. No. You can't cheer for that though. That's look. My whole generation is just like slaves to our student loans. Like I can't gloat. It would be like if we were all like Holocaust survivors, and one day I walk into the room like, hey, is anyone else's tattoo fading? Or I know, right? It's terrible. Check this out. This will make it better. My last student loan payment, I paid them off 1 month early because I got my second to last bill, and it was like total amount to pay off $420.69. $420.69. I was like, all right. I can eat ramen for a month and just save that bill. Right? It's true. I didn't make that up. And it was nice because, like, college was basically just a bunch of, like, joints and, like, 5th grade sex humor. So that fits. That's a reasonable thing to. I have ADD. I used to think I was smarter than everyone. It turns out I just think more than most people, but it like doesn't do anybody any good. You know what I mean? I spend all my time thinking about problems nobody has and the solutions for them. And like, did you guys notice that the hardest working people in the John Wick universe are those motherfuckers that go around once a week and sharpen every knife in the city? Just in case. You know? Did anybody else notice that True Detective Season 1 is just a sequel to Dazed and Confused? You know, Matthew McConaughey's character just had a rough couple years after college. He became a cop. His wife was pig-eyed. And then it's just like, all right. You know what I love about those high school girls is how time is a flat circle. I spent a lot of time thinking about the apocalypse. Do you guys know about the super volcano under Yellowstone? It's like geologically, it's like 100 years overdue to just explode, and they say when it happens, it's gonna be like a zit, just pop off our whole hemisphere, like fuck everybody. I looked into it because I was like, that sounds like my ADD makes me hyper focus on things I can't control that I don't like. So what I ended up, I see what you're doing. Thank you. What I ended up doing, like I looked it up, and so there's what's called the primary blast zone, where when it goes off, everybody's just gonna die. We don't live there. Okay, what we live in is called the primary ash zone. That's most of North America. It's going to take like 2 or 3 days. We're all going to suffocate on molten ash. That's what's in store for us. I was like, that sounds terrible. I would much rather live in the primary blast zone. You're just like explode, boom, it's gone. Just a second, any day now, just boom. But then I looked it up. Primary blast zone is mostly just like Wyoming and like a chunk of Montana. So I'll take molten ash. 4 days. Any amount of time in Wyoming. All my life, Republicans have been telling me how I'm going to burn in hell. Little did I know it's because they were going to turn the planet into one. Like, fuck me, right? Yeah. God works in mysterious ways. Give it up for your host, Nick. See you guys next time.
All right, everybody, give it up for Million. Hey, man. And long distance relationships are tough. I understand. The trick to a long distance relationship is starting long distance. It's called the cam girl. Okay, up next we've got Brian Brent. Come on down to what it's called the primary blast zone. Thank you. When I heard Bob Saget died, I just assumed it was a cocaine overdose. And I think Bob would have wanted it that way. I smoked a carton of cigarettes and launched 2 NFTs this afternoon. My life expectancy is 3 minutes.
I hope we all have a good time. I voted for Donald Trump because I thought he might win and kill me. I thought maybe Martha Stewart got in jail. The only way to decrease school shootings in the long run is a major increase in the short run. Last night I had a dream that a crocodile took my legs off at the end. I don't know. I think it means something good. Should I not be excited? I sold my car to buy crypto. It's okay, honey, I drive Uber in the metaverse now. I believe plants have feelings, and vegetarians are great white sharks. It's looking like I might die alone, so I've begun the hard work to carefully cultivate a supportive network of illegitimate children. Gabrielle, thank you guys, I'm Brian.
All right, beautiful. Give it up for Brian Brent, everybody.
Brian Brent.
And this happens every Wednesday. I don't know how, but it does. A theme presents itself, and I think it's pretty obvious right now. Is anybody going to say it out loud?
Drugs.
Okay, drugs are always the theme. It's NFTs. NFTs is the theme for tonight. It can mean many things. Nebulous financial transaction, not fun talk. And I think the main one, if you're bringing up NFT, it means no fucking tonight. But that's the theme, everybody, so let's lean into it. Let's invest. And up next, we've got a very funny lady, Isabelle Madley.
Oh my God, it's been so long. It has been over a month since I've been here, and it's so good to be back. Part of the reason I wasn't here for a long time is I went to a comedy festival and performed there. Thank you. But I won't talk about that tonight. That's for next week. Tonight I figured I'd delve into some, unseen territory, try to really break some new ground and talk about COVID. What, you guys don't want to talk about COVID? That's so weird, because every other fucking comedian on the planet thinks that you do. And I am no exception. It's true, there's no hot takes left anymore. I mean, everything has been done. We are just, not just with the pandemic, with everything. Because we've all been cooped up for 2 years, just miserable and trying to deal with our trauma with humor, with substance abuse, or worse, TikTok, right? No, thank you. And now we're on Omicron. First of all, how did we get here? And I don't just mean like philosophically. I mean literally, were we just on Delta? There are 12 fucking letters between Delta and Omicron. What are we gonna do when we run out of the Greek alphabet? Like, I personally hope that we start naming variants after people, like hurricanes. Because can't you just imagine some scientists taking it out on their ex? It's like, this just in, scientists have discovered a new variant of the coronavirus. Sources say the Christopher variant is the most disgusting variant so far. It's extremely toxic, causes explosive diarrhea, and therefore Christopher should be avoided at all costs. This naming thing, though, it does seem really desperate to me in some ways. Like, scientists are trying so hard to keep our interest, They're really trying to, rebrand COVID. But the thing is, it's like birthday cake Oreos. Okay? If you're not a fan of Oreos to begin with, the birthday cake flavoring is not going to be what sells you on Oreos. You're not going to, be watching, if you're going to shit about COVID, you're not going to be watching TV and go, the Upsilon variant. Oh, that sounds scary. I might start washing my hands after I sneeze directly into them. Oh my God. Yes. Oh God. Side note to scientists, to food scientists, can we stop forcing flavors into other things, please? I just recently read that there's Lay's, limited edition Lay's, that are flavored like Cool Ranch Doritos. Just eat a fucking Dorito. They're both chips. An Oreo is already a dessert. You do not need to cram another dessert inside of it like some perverted cookie turducken. If I want to eat key lime pie, I will eat a key lime pie. I will not eat key lime pie flavored yogurt. The smiling white women in the Yoplait commercial are not fooling anyone, okay? We all know that yogurt tastes like chemicals and sadness. Not key lime pie. Also, the maniacs at Jelly Belly. Like, what fucking sociopath thought of buttered popcorn jelly beans? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Just because you have the technology, just because you can do something, doesn't mean you should. That's how we got in this situation to begin with. A scientist just had some bat DNA lying around and they were just like, oh, if I jerk off with it. Just like pipette some of it into my eyes. But God, yeah, and Omicron, everyone's talking about how Omicron's mild. They're like, well, at least it's mild, you know. Some people don't even have symptoms. It's so much fucking worse. That just means we have a bunch of people walking around spreading it like college pink eye. They have no idea they have it. Like, look at this room. It's a bunch of stand-up comedians. It's a bunch of, it's a bunch of depressed alcoholics who smoke 6 joints a day. Having a slight cough, a headache, fatigue, and brain fog is their state of being. That is their baseline. How the fuck are they ever going to know if they have Omicron? Like, the state of being for a stand-up comedian is roughly like having the constitution of a Victorian orphan. You know, wandering around, begging strangers for scraps of attention, and getting paid roughly the same amount. But we do love bragging about our misery. I think everybody loves doing that. And that's about 60% of stand-up comedy, to be honest. And people do it with COVID especially. Like, has anyone had that friend who got COVID early on? And they're like, oh, you got Omicron? You know, they have like a superiority complex about it. They're very elitist. They're like, oh, I actually lost my sense of smell for a while, but you just had a runny nose. Like, you say you had COVID, but like, did you really? And then everyone has that friend who claims, like, swears up and down that they got COVID before everybody else, right? They're like, well, they're like the hipster of epidemiologists. They're like, I actually got it back in December 2019, but it was really obscure back then, so you probably hadn't heard of it. And then there's always that friend who just like is dying to get over with. I know we have a couple here in the crowd. They're like, just let me get COVID already, for fuck's sake. I don't want it hanging over my head anymore. First of all, you're stupid. It's stupid. It's a disease. You don't want it. Second of all, I did get it. I did get it over with, so you'd be jealous of me. But I got it. I got an aw and I got a woo. Yeah, I got COVID, but I did get it that week where we had, like, the US had the highest spike so far. So that made me feel a lot better because I had a lot of company, you know, and I was like, everybody else is doing it. You know, I like being part of the trend. That made me feel good. Like, COVID is so hot right now. But if anyone's worried, I had it weeks ago. Like, I quarantined for double the amount of time. So if you're one of those people who wants to get it over with and you're hoping to come up to me after the show and like ask me to spit in your mouth, you won't get COVID. Just a boner. Hi, Isabelle. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Isabelle. Give it up for Isabelle Madley. Everybody. I'll admit it, I got the omnibone. I did it. Did anybody else get COVID? Come on. Yeah, we're through it, right? And I was good. I took my 10 hours in quarantine after I stopped showing symptoms. And I kind of sharpened it up a little bit too. Speaking of sharpening it up, here we go. We're moving right along. The next comedian is Mr. Ryan Wallace. Very funny guy. Yes, here he is.
Hey, all right. I love everyone here. So if I make any jokes about you, consider that love. I like the table over there that has a Uwe Clicquot wine. You guys are fancy. That's right, I can't say it right. But I also know your brand of shirt. It's called the Fibonacci Gucci shirt. That's right, I can hang with the rich people. Are you two related or like twins? Oh, okay, I was afraid, like, worse than The Shining when you see those two girls in the hallway. You are awesome, but that was all love. Give it up for trying. It looks like those skinny pants look like you probably started to shop at American Holocaust. What? I need to consolidate my story. I hate when someone tells me, hey, don't touch my shit. Why do you assume me I like touching shit? All right. A dog bag is a bad thing, or bad thing to use to try to bury your dog. I stopped eating cereal because there are serial killers on the loose. I was looking out. All right. Some people ask me, hey, do you believe in the right to bear arms? And I say no, but I do believe in the bears to have right to have arms. Yeah. It was funnier just how I fucked up saying it. I hate when someone asks me, hey, are you on a date? My response is, well, every day is a date. Come on. Aren't you on a date? Today's, I don't know. Yeah. Thank God, good one here. Grapefruit. Grapefruit. I just want to talk about grapefruits, right? Because, have you guys ever went to the grocery store and just thought, okay, now what the fuck is that? It's definitely not a grape. Kind of looks like an orange. So I guess it's a fruit. Well, why are we lying to ourselves? Why are we lying to ourselves? You have to pour a pound of sugar just to make that shit taste good. And then for some reason it helps women with their period cycles. So that they drink a lot of it, eat it, and it helps maybe some. I don't know this stuff. It's witchcraft. That's what I think a grapefruit is. It's a goddamn witchcraft fruit in the store. So that's my public announcement. I'm Ryan Wallace. Thank you very much.
Right. All right. Ryan Wallace, everybody. Give it up. Wallace is Wayward Comedy's spirit animal. And hey, man, give the bears their arms back. Yeah. All right. Next guy is a very, very funny comedian. Mr. Phil Johnson, come on down. Yeah.
I'm going to talk about something that I feel is on everybody's mind. It's the green M&M. Everybody thinking about the green M&M. I don't know, maybe you didn't hear, but they desexualized the green M&M. And I am not one of the people who found the candy sexy. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Like, people are into all kinds of things. Like, I've had relationships, so that means there are people out there who are like, I want a guy who looks like he smells bad. So I'm not going to shame anybody for what you're into candy. Okay, I don't see that hurting anybody. I do have some technical questions though. How are you going to have sex with an M&M? Like, it's not even one of the ones that has 2 peanuts in it and like has a I don't understand that one. And have you never heard of peach rings? Yeah, it's a texture thing. I also really enjoy the fact that the candy company had to take a stance on sexuality. They had to go out there and say, women who wear practical shoes can never be sexy. Okay, M&Ms. Can you imagine if you worked for their public relations department? Hey, we here at the M&M's family just want to thank you for joining our team. We were all really moved by that story you told in your interview about how your grandpa used to take you to the park every Sunday, and there was the big slide that you were scared to go on, but he promised you some M&Ms if you you did, and you went down, and you felt that sense of accomplishment and joy, and you wanted to spread that to the world. So we need you to write a press release that says, you know, if broads don't put in the effort to wear high heels, they're all ugly. So that's genius. I grew up in New Mexico, which means I learned to drive in New Mexico. So that explains my drinking habit. And when you learn to drive in New Mexico, you go through driver's ed, which is, you know, a really expensive class in a strip mall behind the Sonic, where you go and there, I've heard other places have tests, no tests, no drive, just like you go in there, you paid you $300, we're gonna get you a license, all right? All you gotta do is you have to watch like VHS or Laserdisc tapes of red asphalt, which I can't imagine how hard the red asphalt people had to work. Because this was before cell phones. This was before dash cams. So yeah, somebody had to like see an accident and call up a production company to rush out there and be like, oh no, the kids are gonna love this. All right. You know, I kind of ran out of jokes, so I was thinking, well, what most comedians do, they tell dick jokes. Which, I wasn't going to do that because, let's be honest, they're not that hard. No, actually, they come pretty easy. And you know, when it comes to stand-up, I don't feel that, you know, my dick jokes have any place there. I mean, they're nice because they're short and to a point. I don't know. I just feel like they keep popping up everywhere. And, yeah, you know, it's boy. No, I had one about circumcision, but I cut that short. All right, folks. My name is
Give it up for Joe Johnson, everybody. He's one master. And man, I learn something every time you do a set. I've been fucking all the wrong food. M&M's, grape nuts. What was I thinking? Christ almighty. Okay, we're almost done here. Only two more comedians. Up next, Trucker Miles. There he is. There he is. Come on down.
Thank you. Yes, my name's Trucker Miles. Ladies, feel free to call me sexy. No, it's my second time doing stand-up. Thank you. Normally I just stay around all day, you know, just laying around in my house like some kind of beached whale. Like, he hasn't moved for 3 days, throw some water on him. No, I'm so lazy, man, I swear. Like, my dog has to take me out for walks now. Like, he's getting old, he doesn't really like to go out that much anymore. Anyways, thanks. I have an editor now, trying to be more PC with my jokes. The hardest part about comedy is you come up with about like 60 minutes worth of material, and you wind up with only a 5-minute act. And you know, the worst part about that is, you know, it's the same thing when I proposed some sex to her. She asks if I'm gonna stand up, you know. And then it's like, you promised 60 minutes worth of material, and you only wind up with a 5-minute act. Yeah, no, don't do that really, guys, that's a joke. You don't want to be a Harvey Weinstein, you know. Freaking, that guy was a pervert. Freaking, yeah, did you know this? Yeah, girls, you know, female actresses would go, and they'd go try to get a job, and, you know, propose them for sex behind your desk, man. It's fucked up. You know, if I was there on that set, I wouldn't have stood for that. I would have told them, you know, these are actresses, you know, they're coming here to do important roles. They're trying to, you know, live their careers, have a beautiful life, and freaking not everything you see on the screen happens in real life. If you want to make those kinds of movies, they do that on the other side of Hollywood. Too soon, I'm sorry. You know, freaking woke comedy, right? That's the hard part about woke comedy. There's always a too soon guy. It's like you can't even make a joke about dinosaurs anymore without the too soon guy. I was like, hey, what's the T-Rex's worst? I mean, least favorite Linkin Park album. He was like, what? And it was all Meteora. Too soon, too soon. So yeah, so freaking yeah, I know, dated myself there. I like punk rock music. I don't know if anyone's playing punk rock here. It's like Ramones, NoFX, Green Day, some Green Day, not all of it. Anyways, freaking true story. I was forced to an AA meeting, right? You know, it's always forced. Never go willingly. You hear these people talk about their lives, and it's like, oh man, you know, I have a beautiful wife and loving kids, but I drink, and it ruins everything. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there with an ounce of weed in my pocket, and an 8-ball of coke in my shoe. That's it to be considered a political threat. And freaking, I'm thinking, man, this guy only drinks. Really step his game up. I guess they just like let anyone speak here. No, this is a true story. So they have a speaker there, right? He's in this punk group band, right? Freaking name of the band was Girls Own Drugs, G-O-D, right? Well, now I was interested, you know, like Girls on Drugs. I wonder what they sing about. You know, they could be the next Creed, nice Christian rock band. Girls on Drugs, no, that's horrible. Drugs, am I right? Freaking, I'm starting to worry I'm an empath. The other day I walked down Cerritos and I was awake for 3 days. I just started taking apart another electrical appliance, you know, something. Pass the time. Yeah, no, that's crazy. Sex is crazy these days, right? Am I right? Yeah. Back in my day, you know, it was a lot easier. We had 3 sexes, right? We had straight, gay, and bi, right? And straight, gay, and bi. We didn't really know where that left the sheep fuckers, but, you know, we got asexual, transsexual, all these terms. And sheep fuckers, you gotta think, man. If you have to fuck a sheep, you must be pretty bad at it. But no, this guy blew my mind the other day. He was like, it's not always just 50-50 either, you know? It could be 70-30, 90-10. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I realized I was 90-10. Because, you know, I love pussy, but I also hate people. Thank you. And I told my girlfriend that. She was like, oh, that makes sense. Because 90% of the time I don't feel it. People orgasm, that's not a fair ratio, really. I think, like, if women had to come in order for people to be born, there'd be a lot less people here today. Yeah. No, sorry, that's horrible. This next joke is funny, I don't know. A lot of sports are in the news these days, right? Super Bowl's coming up, I don't know. Super Bowl, go team, right? I don't really care. The only bowl I care about is the bong bowl waiting for me at home right now. So, I don't know, that's my act.
All right. Wonderful. Give it up for Trent and Miles, everyone. Well done. We all hate people. But we're wrapping it up. One more comedian. He was the one who pioneered putting the mic between his legs. I can't believe we didn't think of that before. Sasha, where are you? I think I should do that.
Oh man, it's good to be here.
excited. I want to start my set the same. Last time I said it went so well. I've never done comedy before. It went so well, we used the exact same formula. First thing I did is I thanked the other comedians, congratulated them on their sets. What's your name? Isabelle. Your set was magnificent. Let's applaud her. Your set, Isabelle. Your set is my favorite type of set. It reminds me how much the world sucks. Thanks for that. I got some bad news since last time. Oh, don't worry. As I've discovered tonight and last time, you Americans, what you think is funny is to do therapy on stage. So I'm going to do I got some bad news. I'm still insecure. As I said, last time set went so well, so I spoke to my therapist. You've all heard of him, I'm a magician. Therapist said you like sex, you get it. So I spoke to my therapist, he was like, great, but you hid behind your magic. Can you, oh no, don't stand up. Can you come here? Camera, just so you can see, he hurt his leg, that would not be funny. Would you mind coming here for 1 second? So my therapist said you're hiding behind your magic. So right now, instead I'm going to hide behind you and myself. All right, you can go. So as I said, I'm still insecure, which is unfortunate because I thought that doing a good set in stand-up would have, helped me lose my virginity, and I'm sorry. Let me talk about the elephant in the room. I am not Timothy Chalamet.
Okay, cut it.
But last time was better, I get it. Yeah, I'm not Timothy Chalamet, although I feel like I know him, he speaks Italian and French. And I feel like I'm the trendsetter and he's the follower. You Americans have a strange sense of humor. The joke is coming in a second. Anyways, I feel like I'm the trendsetter and he's the follower. He's great. He has the hairstyle. Girls like him a lot more and all of that. But what I appreciate about Timothy is he gets inspired really well. He did this movie called Call Me By Your Name, and he fucked a peach. I did that first. Let's keep going, though. As I said, I was hoping that I would lose my insecurity, and I'm still here. So, like all stand-up comedians, I'm compensating for something. That hit too close to home for most of them? I want to thank all of you because, as I said, last time was my first time and it went so well. And I was in the gym today and I was, by the way, very compensating. I was in the gym today and I was like, why don't I do it again? Maybe it'll go great. And I love the fact that not only did you guys put me last, but then Millionaire came to me and said, oh, I just want you to know, when you hit 5 minutes, we're going to shine a flashlight. That means you have 1 more minute on stage. Thank you. Thank you for helping me shine, my friend. No pressure. Yeah, thank you for helping me shine. Double entendre there. Let me finish with a joke. I think I have one. We got that. Okay, this is a joke I heard in preschool, which is about your sense of humor. By the way, before I tell the joke, I want you to know every person has a skill. And as you can tell, my skill is to get myself in bad situations and get out of it better, right? In other words, I don't learn my lessons. So the joke I wanted to tell you, thank you, a few of you can resonate. The joke I wanted to tell you is the following. It's multi-layered. 2 butts are on the beach. And one butt says to the other, hey, how you doing? You having a good time? And the other butt says, I love how that is the joke that got the most laughs in the entire set. Thanks, guys. All right, I want to end with one last thought. Would it make it better, right? Basically, what you're saying is, it was funny last week because you hid behind the mansion. If you want, you can come up and we can do it. Thanks, brother. All right, that's it. Thank you for your time. Wonderful. Give it up for Sasha, everybody. And of course there's this fucking therapy. This is America. Nobody's insured. You know how much therapy costs. Of course we're coming here to do it for free. That's the American health system right here. Wayward Comedy every Wednesday night. So we're wrapping it up right now. I just want to mention a couple things. I was supposed to say some. Oh, so first of all, everybody pay your bills. Thank your bartenders. Tip them highly. For those non-Americans, it's 60% tip these days. What else? We have a show coming up at the Tumble Root, February 5th. It's a week from Saturday, I believe, at 8 o'clock. Can someone give me a thumbs up? Yeah, 8 o'clock. 8:30. Come at 8. And it's at 8:30. February 5th there at the Tumble Root. And I feel like I was supposed to say one more thing. There's a live stream. Was I supposed to say something about that? WaywardComedy.com. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on DickBait. Hotty Night. We're everywhere, baby. Fucking mugshots.com. Wayward Comedy. That's it. See you later.
Closing time. Time to do the closing of the